What we have here is two types of demonstrations leveraging the cloud software and cloud services that we're promoting at the show. The first one is elastic dynamic instantiation of our software on a private or a public data center using the cloud management tools like OpenStack. The idea is really to make it very, very easy to operate our software, instantiate it in the cloud alongside other applications like email, voice systems, and provision it only as you need it and as your capacity allows it. Right. So what we show here is the cloud management tool. In this case, it's based on OpenStack, which is a means to actually easily create live encoding of video channels. So what you see here on the screen above is we have 3 existing channels running, being monitored. And we show that we make it very, very easy to create a service here. So let's say I want to create a standard definition channel. I can select from a number of live sources. So let's say I want to create an instance of Teen Spirit TV. I identify myself. Bob is in this case. I click Add Service. And what the system is doing very quickly is, you see, doing a basic capacity check. How much hardware resource do I have available? And is that enough? Start a virtual machine, so in this case KVM. And on top of that, instantiate Muse software, which is the transcoding software. And once you've provisioned all this, it automatically launches the transcoding task. So it actually starts the software and the encoding process. And what you see is that SD channel has been created here. So the flow is very, very easy. The idea here is that you save costs on your, if you have a data center infrastructure, you can better leverage the resources and optimize how you provision them and share among applications. But also operationally, you don't have to send teams if you're a large cable operator. You don't have to send teams in the field, in the region, to physically install instances of the software, bring up the system, and so forth. It can all be done remotely, from an IT virtualized environment, right? So there's also a lot of cost savings from the rollout and operational standpoint. Okay. The second demo I want to show you is our turnkey video service, multi-screen video service. So we're taking it to the next step. Some of our customers, some tier ones, and also customers from smaller size who don't have an R&D team or a CapEx budget to start a multi-screen service, are turning to things like this to completely outsource it. And they say, create me a TV service for on-demand and a number of live video channels, and I want to go to a number of devices, maybe Roku, Xbox, Apple TV, iOS, Android, etc. And the idea is we've partnered with a cloud platform company called One Mainstream. And in partnership with them, we have the ability to offer this end-to-end service completely hosted in the cloud. So via this service, we're able to completely remove the barriers to entry for content owners or operators to start a service literally in a matter of a couple of weeks. Okay? And I'll show you how easy it is. The principle is based on, it's all software hosted in the public cloud. Everything happens in the cloud, and the idea is, let's say I'm a content owner. I have access, they give me an account, I have access to this web portal, which allows me to create services in very simple steps. So here, you start with the first step. And in this case, I'll show you the app I already created. So you give it a title, a description, select if you want the service to be free or paid. There's different billing models, with or without authentication. You give it a logo. In this case, I use the Envivio logo, and that's what you see on the Roku private channel screen. Once you've done that, you select from a number of pre-designed templates. You know, there's only so many ways you can design an app on a given device, and only so many ways you can lay out your content and your services. And so you can select from one of these pre-designed templates and then customize it later. Here we're showing the template used by Sky News. Once you've done that, you populate your content. Oops. And what you see here is we've preloaded a number of on-demand assets. So this would be your VOD library, for instance. You can manually upload it to the cloud, or you can use MRSS feeds to automatically ingest that as the assets become published. But what's more interesting, and nobody's really done before, is you can also provision live channels on this cloud portal. And as an example, I've created a couple of channels, live channels. This one being a French-German channel called Arte. And how you do that is also very simple. You basically go to that page, you give it a thumbnail logo for the app, the name of the channel, description, metadata. You give it ratings, age restrictions, geo restrictions, if any, which countries, the billing model, how do I want to pay for it? Is it a monthly subscription? Is it free? Is it a la carte or a one-time use? And if you have existing encoders in premise, let's say you already use Envivio Muse encoders for the best quality, you can basically specify the URL of that encoder and where you want to ingest it from. From then on, it goes into the cloud, and the cloud takes care of every other aspect of the delivery, starting with packaging DRM with Microsoft, Google, or Apple, Fairplay. It takes care of ad mediation via double-click, so we can dynamically serve ads into the live channels and the VOD. It takes care of the CDN delivery with CDN Federation. And the interesting part is that it creates and automates the apps for you. And I'll show you an example of that. So if you go to, once you've selected your content, you go to devices, you have a choice of target devices you want to send your services to. You can select one of them or all of them, so it covers everything from iOS, Android, Amazon, Google, Roku, Samsung Smart TVs, Xbox, websites, etc., and it even supports the brand new Amazon Fire TV. You select the devices, and in this case, we've built an app for Roku. And again, it's very easy. You go in there, you select from a number of templates, and it lets you customize the look and feel of the app in just a few minutes, by adding graphics and logos, backsplashes, and how you organize and the content. And so if you want to look at the end result, I've personally created this Roku private channel and app literally in a couple of hours. That's how easy it is to get this up and running. So this Envivio app, you go in it, you can see it's pulling up the graphics I've entered into the system. And it's pulling the on-demand assets and exactly looking how I've specified it. And remember that Arte live channel I talked about a little earlier, so I'll go zoom up. There it is. It's available. I click on it, play, and it's going to start it. So there you go. In a matter of hours, I've provisioned on demand and my own live video channel over the top end-to-end on the Roku in this case, but it can be really on any device. The longest part of this whole process, if you're a content owner or an operator, you want to get started, is actually the certification part with Apple or Google, maybe a couple weeks to get the apps certified. So it gives you amazing speed to time to market with using absolutely no capex. It's a pure OpEx model. It's a base license fee, and it's designed to scale with users. So the rest of the fees are based on usage. If you have very little users, your service is not successful, you're not going to have any costs. If your user base grows, the cost is going to grow with it, but you're still going to make money on top of that, and still without any capex involvement.